Please be seated. I now call the session to order. May we request the Honorable MP Sheikh Said to lead us in the invocation.
Please join me to pray to Almighty Allah so that our activity became a worship to Him. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa in lam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana la taj'alna fitnatan lil ladzina kafaru waghfir lana innaka antal azizul hakim. Innaka antal azizul hakim. Rabbana afrigh alaina sabran wa thabbit aqdamana wansurna 'alal qaumil kafirin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar wa adkhilnal jannata ma'al abrar ya aziz ya ghaffar ya rabbal alamin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong bangaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pamay di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walang pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Simula noon hanggang ngayon, isa ang naging layon. Magkaisa at magpuklod, karitingan ay marugtong. Tumayo tayo mula sa hamon ng nakaraan, niyapos ang panganib na umaandlang. Pinangako sa puso at paligid,
seated. The Secretary General is directed to call the roll.
Honorable members of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority Parliament, Abbas Ahmad I, Abbas Harun M, Abbas Basit S, Abu Mujib C, Alamia Liza M, Alauddin Mosbir E, Ali Ibrahim D, Ali Lanang T. Jr., Ali Eddie M, Ambuludto Suharto M, Aminuddin Abdulaziz M, Ampatuan Baitan A, Anayatin Susana S, Antaw Muhammad Kelly U, Arnado Mary Ann M, Asnawi Dan S, Babaw Ali Muntaha D, Balindong Pangalian M, Basman Anna Tarhata S, Kandaw Bay Maleha B,
Present.
Ilanggalan Hasimi N, Dumama Alba Shah Ilayha B, Dumama Alba Shah Ilayha B, Ibrahim Ahud B, Ismail Suharto S, Estino Matarol M, Gayak Abdullah E, Gera Edward U, Haji Abdullah Khalid Maamur M, Hasim Abdullah B, Hasan Hatimil E, Iqbal Muhagger M, Ismail Rasul E, Jajuri Raisa H, Jakilan Muslimin A, Jikiri Al-Bakir D, Kahalan Den Martin A, Karon Faisal G, Lim John Anthony L, Loong Benjamin T, Don Mustafa A, Lorena Jose I, Makakuha Abdurrauf A, Makapaar Abdullah G, Makasalong Marjani S, Makatanong Amrosi A, Maglangit Tarhata M, Malik Hamid U, Mantawel Baileng S, Mastura Eshak B, Matalam Jafar Apollo Mikael L, Mawalil Amil Bahar S, Mendoza Froilen T, Nidtimbang Michael E, Nidtimbang Tawakkal B, Niswari Abdul Karim T, Niswari Noreda I, Mitmug Rasul Y Jr., Munoz Hussein P, Uranon Suwaib L, Pakasam Obaida C, Pak Abdul Wahab M, Pangandaman Nabila Margarita P, Parcasio Randolph C, Piang Ramon A. Sr., Ramos Jamila D, Salindab Said Z, Salik Ali O, Sangki Ali B, Sema Omar Yasir C, Sema Romeo K, Sheikh Said M, Silungan Aida M, Sinulinding Kadil M Jr., Sulaiman Ali B, Tago Paisalin P, Tan Nabil A,
Present.
Usman Azpar H, Uttu Basir D, Uy Oyod City Fahani S, Yakub Muhammad S.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa bihi nasta'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mr. Speaker, with 56 members of the Parliament physically responded to the call and 2 responded via Zoom, we have a total of 58 members of the Parliament responded both physical and virtual. We therefore certify, Mr. Speaker, the presence of quorum.
With the certification of the Secretary General of the presence of a quorum, we now can proceed to the order of business. Majority Leader.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My courtesies to the Speaker, Attorney Pangalian Balindong, the presiding officer, Deputy Speaker, Attorney Nabil Tan, my fellow members of Parliament. Um, for today's session, Mr. Speaker, may I move to amend the order of business to include item number 13 on other matters. The floor leader wishes to announce the expanded membership of the Committee on Rules and the Committee on Finance and Budget and Management, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to amend the agenda to include
Other matters.
other matters. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved. Proceed.
The next item, Mr. Speaker, is on reading and approval of the journal of the previous session. I move to dispense with the reading of the journal, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved. Proceed.
I move to approve the journal of the previous session, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to approve the journal of the previous session duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved. Proceed.
On the next item on reference of business bills on first reading, Mr. Speaker, we have
New rules?
we have 7
We-
Parliament bills for first reading, Mr. Speaker. May we request the Secretary General to please read the title of Bill number 28 and the
There-
authors thereof.
There is a motion to report all the bills on first reading. One after the other.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So
Bill
order,
number 28 is the first one, Mr. Speaker.
so ordered. The Secretary General is directed to report all bills on first reading, one after the other, pursuant to our new rules.
BTA Parliament Bill number 28 entitled An Act Incentivizing the Higher Education Institution with Agriculture, Fisheries, Forestry, and Natural Resources degree programs in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, establishing the Bangsamoro Agricultural Education Incentive Fund and for other purposes. Authors, members of the Parliament, Liza M. Alamia, Muhammad S. Yaqub, Mohagger M. Iqbal, and Lanang T. Ali Jr. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., Soharto M. Ambuludto, Rasul E. Ismail, Baintan A. Ampatuan, Amil Bahar S. Mawalil, Don Mustafa E. Luong, Abdullah E. Gayak, and Omar Yasser C. Sema. BTA Parliament Bill number 45 entitled An Act Upgrading Dato Halon Sakilan Memorial Hospital into Level 2 Hospital, increasing its bed capacity, upgrading its professional healthcare services and facilities, authorizing the increase of its medical personnel and appropriating funds therefore. Authors, members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar S. Mawalil, John Anthony L. Lim, Eddie M. Ali, and Suharto M. Ambuludto. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Baintan A. Ampatuan, Liza M. Alamia, Don Mustafa E. Loong, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., and Rasul E. Ismail. BTA Parliament Bill number 46 entitled An Act Establishing a Level 1 General Hospital in the Municipality of Sitangkay, Province of Tawi-Tawi, and appropriating funds therefore. Authors, members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar S. Mawalil, John Anthony L. Lim, Eddie M. Ali, and Suharto M. Ambuludto. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Baintan A. Ampatuan, Liza M. Alamia, Don Mustafa E. Loong, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., and Rasul E. Ismail. And for the authors, Kadil E. Sinulinding Jr. BTA Parliament Bill number 47 entitled An Act Reorganizing the Ministry of Basic Higher and Technical Education, MBHTE, by splitting it into 4 agencies, thereby creating the Ministry of Basic Education, MOBE, the Bangsamoro Commission on Higher Education and Development, B-CHED, the Bangsamoro Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, B-TESDA, and the Bangsamoro Madaris Education Office, BMEO, amending for the purpose Title 2, Book 6, Bangsamoro Autonomy Act Number 13, or the Act providing for the Bangsamoro Administrative Code, and the Bangsamoro Autonomy Act Number 18, or an Act providing for the establishment, management, and support of a complete and integrated system of quality education in the Bangsamoro, appropriating funds thereof and for other purposes. Author, Member of the Parliament, Baintan A. Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar S. Mawalil, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., Liza M. Alamia, Suharto M. Ambuludto, Don Mustafa A. Loong, and Rasul E. Ismail. BTA Parliament Bill number 48 entitled An Act Reorganizing the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources and Energy, MENRE, thereby splitting into 2 ministries, the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, MENR, and the Ministry of Energy, MOE, defining their powers and function, appropriating funds thereof and for other purposes. Author, Member of the Parliament, Baintan A. Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar S. Mawalil, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., Liza M. Alamia, Suharto M. Ambuludto, Don Mustafa A. Loong, and Rasul E. Ismail. BTA Parliament Bill number 49 entitled An Act Streamlining Related Bangsamoro Commissions, thereby merging and restructuring such commission into one entity to be known as Bangsamoro Commission on Women, Youth and Sports, BCWYS, amending Title 16, Chapters 1 to 3 of the Bangsamoro Autonomy Act Number 13, defining its powers and function, appropriating funds thereof and for other purposes. Author, Member of the Parliament, Baintan A. Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar S. Mawalil, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., Liza M. Alamia, Suharto M. Ambuludto, Don Mustafa A. Loong, and Rasul E. Ismail. BTA Parliament Bill number 50 entitled An Act Establishing a Children's Playground in Every School, defining its scope and coverage, appropriating funds thereof and for other purposes. Author, MP Baintan A. Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar S. Mawalil, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., Liza M. Alamia, Suharto M. Ambuludto, Don Mustafa A. Loong, and Rasul E. Ismail.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we now move to resolutions, messages, memorials, and communications. First proposed resolution is resolution number. Okay. Permission to manifest, Mr. Speaker, that this is a reminder that these are all private member bills and that any member of parliament may signify his or her intention to co-author by submitting the form that we have provided. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Moving,
Proceed.
proposed resolution number 10. May we request the Secretary General to please read the title, the author, and the authors of the proposed resolution.
The Secretary General is directed to read the proposed resolution and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 10 entitled A Resolution Directing the Bangsamoro Economic and Development Council, BEDC, through the Bangsamoro Planning and Development Authority, BPDA, to apprise the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, BTA Parliament, on the status of the implementation of Bangsamoro Development Plan, BDP 2019 to 2022, in its accompanying investment program. Author, Member of the Parliament, Baintan A. Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar S. Mawalil, Liza M. Alamiang, Suharto M. Ambuludto, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., Don Mustafa E. Loong, and Rasul E. Ismail.
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader.
I move to refer proposed resolution number 10 to the Committee on Rules.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 10 to the Committee on Rules. Any objection? Duly seconded. Any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Majority Leader.
Second proposed resolution is proposed resolution number 23. May we request the Secretary General to please read the title and the authors.
The Secretary General is directed to read the resolution and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 23 entitled A Resolution Urging the Bangsamoro Economic Development Council, BEDC, and the Intergovernmental Infrastructure Development Board to jointly formulate a long-term infrastructure development plan and investment program in the next 15 years, 2023 to 2038, for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, BARM. Author, Member of the Parliament, Baintan A. Ampatuan. Co-author, Members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar S. Mawalil, Liza M. Alamiang, Suharto M. Ambuludto, Rasul Y. Mitmug Jr., Don Mustafa E. Loong, and Rasul E. Ismail.
Mr. Speaker, I move to
Majority Leader.
refer proposed resolution number 23 to the Committee on Rules, Committee on Finance and Budget and Management, and Committee on Public Works, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 23 to the Committee on Rules, Committee on Finance, Committee on Public Works. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Majority Leader.
Third proposed resolution is proposed resolution number 36. May we request the Secretary General to please read the title and the authors of the proposed resolution.
The Secretary General is directed to read the proposed resolution and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 36 entitled A Resolution Encouraging Local Government Units in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao to provide a sectoral seat for settler communities in every local government unit, particularly where there are significant number of settlers. Author, Member of the Parliament, Susana S. Anayatin. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Ahmad I. Abbas, Omar Yasser C. Sema, Don Mustafa E. Loong, Jamila D. Ramos, Mujib C. Abu, Ali O. Salik, and Bay Maleha B. Kandao.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer proposed resolution number 36 to the Committee on Local Government, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to refer the proposed resolution number 36 to the Committee on Local Government. Is there any second? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, we now move on to the bills on second reading. There is one for today, BTA Parliament Bill number 54, and the authorship speech will be delivered by Member of the Parliament and Minister Attorney Ubaida Bakasim. May we recognize him, Mr. Speaker.
The Member of Parliament and Minister of Finance. Ubaida Pakasam is hereby recognized.
Maraming salamat, Ginoong Speaker. Bismillahi, alhamdulillah. Wassalatu salamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ginoong Speaker, ito na po ang ikaapat at huling pagkakataon ako po ay magsasalita sa bulwagang ito.
Bakit naman?
Muli, ako po ay naririto bilang isa sa mga pangunahing may akda ng panukalang batas bilang 54.
Quiet please.
Ginoong Speaker, isang karangalan ang mabigyan ng pagkakataon na ihain sa marangal na bulwagang ito ang panukalang budget ng pamahalaang Bangsamoro para sa taong 2023. Matapos ang masusing pagbalangkas nito, ang ating panukalang budget ay isang komprehensibong plano para sa susunod na taon na nakasentro sa mithiin ng ating gobyerno na mapabuti ang pamumuhay ng bawat Bangsamoro. Simbolo rin ito ng patuloy na pagbangon ng ating rehiyon mula sa hirap na dulot ng pandemya, sakuna at iba pang pagsubok. Napapaloob sa panukalang ito ang mga programa at proyekto ng bawat ministry at office na naglalayong matugunan ang mga pangangailangan ng mga mamamayan ng BARM ayon sa kani-kanilang mandato. Binuo ito na may pagsasaalang-alang sa 12-point priority agenda ng pamahalaang Bangsamoro at sa dakilang adhikain ng ating butihing Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim para sa taong 2023. Unified towards a noble goal, a better economy for the Bangsamoro people. Ang budget na ito ay para sa mga Bangsamoro, para sa bawat mag-aaral na ang tanging bitbit sa paaralan ay ang pangarap ng isang magandang kinabukasan. Para sa bawat magsasaka at mangingisdang tanging ang ani at huli ang kakapitan. Para sa bawat taong may sakit na ang tanging sandigan ay tulong medikal mula sa pamahalaan. Para sa bawat solo parent na tanging sarili ang katuwang sa buhay. Para sa bawat biktima ng sakuna na tanging pamilya ang naisalba. Para sa bawat Bangsamorong nangangailangan ng tulong, anuman ang lahi, relihiyon o paniniwala. Dahil dito, Ginoong Speaker, isang mabigat na tungkulin ang pagsiguro na ang bawat sentimong ilalaan para sa mga programa at proyekto ng pamahalaan alinsunod sa budget ay nararamdaman ng bawat Bangsamoro. Ito ay may kaakibat na responsibilidad at pananagutan. Mula sa pagbuo ng budget hanggang sa paggugol nito sa taong 2023 at bilang mga kinatawan ng Bangsamoro sa gobyerno, responsibilidad nating suriin ng husto ang panukalang ito. Ito ay isinaad din ng ating Chief Minister sa kanyang mensahe noong isinumiti ang 2023 Bangsamoro Expenditure Program sa bulwagang ito, and I quote, "With your judicious examination of the items in the budget, surely we can better draw the fine details needed to improve our plan for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and its people. Let us all work together to make sure our bright plans for the future are concretely expressed in the financial blueprint of our bureaucracy. With your support, together we shall be able to unite to build a strong and dedicated Bangsamoro government that will fulfill the promises of peace, development, and meaningful self-governance for the betterment of our lives, inshallah." Dala ang mga aral ng kahapon at ang mithiin ng isang magandang bukas para sa Bangsamoro, sama-sama nating ipagpatuloy ang pagtahak sa landas patungo sa isang maunlad, payapa at progresibong BARM. Ginoong Speaker at mga kapitapitagang kasamahan sa Parliament, sa ikaapat na pagkakataon, muli po akong humihiling ng inyong suporta para sa Parliament Bill number 54 na nagpapanukalang maglaan ng 85.3 bilyong budget para sa pagpapatakbo ng pamahalaang Bangsamoro sa taong 2023. Naway magkaisa tayo sa pagpasa nitong panukalang budget na lagit-lagi ay para sa Bangsamoro. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalam, Mr. Speaker.
That will be the start of the series of presentation. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer BTA Parliament Bill number 54 to the Committee on Finance and Budget and Management.
There is a motion to refer BTA Parliamentary Bill number 54 to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Management and duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the next item in the order of business is privilege hour. There are 3 members of parliament who have signified their intention to speak today within 1 hour. So we respectfully advise that they share the 1 hour. The first to take the floor, Mr. Speaker, and I so move, is Deputy Speaker Attorney Lanang Ali Jr. May we recognize him, Mr. Speaker.
The former Majority Floor Leader, now Deputy Speaker Lanang Ali Jr. is hereby recognized. You have the floor.
Maraming salamat po, Presiding Officer, Deputy Speaker, Attorney Rabi Al-Awwal. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Have you ever imagined the world without trees? What will happen? Now try to imagine the world without mothers. What will happen? This time, try to imagine the Bangsamoro without us, the members of the Bangsamoro Parliament. What will happen? I believe the world without trees and mothers, the world will be lifeless. And the Bangsamoro without leaders like us, I believe it is meaningless. My courtesy to the Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim, to the Speaker of the Bangsamoro Parliament, Attorney Ali Pangaliang Balindong, to my fellow members of the Parliament, visitors, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings of peace and unity to everyone. Mr. Speaker, I could still remember the day when I was elected as Majority Floor Leader last March 22, 2019. I was overwhelmed with mixed emotions, excitement, and pressured at the same time. I was excited as I knew it would serve as another platform for me to serve more the Bangsamoro. Yet, I felt the pressure at that time. I realized, Mr. Speaker, magsisimula na ang bagong kabanata ng Kalbaryo. Mukhang matinding pakikidigma ang gagawin ko. Indeed, Spider-Man was right when he said great powers comes great responsibility. At ito na nga, Mr. Speaker, dito na nagsimula ang masalimot kong karanasan bilang Majority Floor Leader. Well, it's a choice of whether I like it or I have to like it very much. I had to do the functions mandated to me to the best of my capacity and power. Inshallah, I will, because I can, I thought. As I stand here delivering my accomplishment report, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't mean I brag about these humble representations, recent accomplishments, because in Islam, disclosing accomplishment and humanitarian activities only decreases the blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mr. Speaker, ako po yung tipo ng tao na hindi ko ugali ipagmayabang ang aking mga mabuting nagawa para sa taong bayan. Mr. Speaker, personally, I don't see the logic in it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the ultimate judge of our actions. And my accountability is solely with Him. However, recently, Mr. Speaker, in a book that I have read about governance. Accomplishment report is not a matter of arrogance, but authority as a public servant and an act of service to our people. Anyways, Mr. Speaker, as stated, innamal a'malu binniyat. Everything is judged through intention. This is for the purpose of transparency and integrity as the primary tenet of moral governance. For years of being the majority floor leader, I had experienced several realizations. Being in the post required technical competence to do the work. I had to read and review bills, resolutions, articles, and other readings for a sound and profound capacity to handle plenary sessions. Further, Mr. Speaker, I realized that it takes an intestinal fortitude to carry the torch. Precious times with BTA, professional development and associations, BARM engagements, family, and others are the most significant elements we must carefully balance. Despite all odds, Mr. Speaker, I believe I made it. Alhamdulillah. To give a synthesis of how I did it, please remember the word lanang. L-A-N-A-N-G. L is for Leverage Balance Acts. As the majority floor leader, Mr. Speaker, one could imagine the level of balancing acts that had to be maintained to keep the smooth flow of businesses and plenary session. We feel greatly honored, Mr. Speaker, for at the end of the day, bills and resolutions were eventually passed and won approval, benefiting our people in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao. Next, Mr. Speaker, is A. A is for authored drafts of parliamentary rules and procedures. The parliamentary rules and procedures which we formulated from the scratch, Mr. Speaker, highlighted important principles such that all members of the parliament are given an equal chance to contribute to the amplification and refinement of priority legislatures and timely resolutions, and to speak up for the exigency of the Bangsamoro people regarding various issues and affairs. And, Mr. Speaker, is for necessitated 3 priority codes. As the majority floor leader, Mr. Speaker, we spearheaded the passing of 3 priority codes, namely the Bangsamoro Administrative Code, the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code, and the Bangsamoro Education Code. Bangsamoro Autonomy Act number 13, the Administrative Code, was filed on July 21, 2020. Alhamdulillah, Mr. Speaker. On October 28, 2020, the Administrative Code was enacted into law. The Bangsamoro Autonomy Act number 17, otherwise known as the Bangsamoro Civil Service Code, was also filed on July 21, 2020, and on February 24, 2021, this priority legislation was finally approved. On October 28, 2020, Bangsamoro Autonomy Act number 18, known as the Bangsamoro Education Code, was introduced to the plenary by the Honorable Minister of MBHTE, Mohagir Iqbal. The bill was adopted, Mr. Speaker, into law on May 18, 2021. Next, Mr. Speaker, is letter A. A stands for actively facilitated 31 Bangsamoro Autonomy Acts and 263 approved resolutions. Modesty aside, Mr. Speaker, we had been unstoppable in making acts that would cater to the needs of the Parliament and of the Bangsamoro people. In fact, during our term as the majority floor leader, the Parliament enacted 31 Bangsamoro Autonomy Acts and approved 263 resolutions despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Truly, Mr. Speaker, we made the impossible possible. I am humbled to have you. I have humbled to having you in my journey. And is for nurtured Kadtag principle. Our office, Mr. Speaker, also answered our destitute constituents during the surge in the last 3 years. In October 2019, magnitude 6.6 earthquakes hit several parts of Cotabato City, Cotabato and Maguindanao. Mr. Speaker, this incident led us to immediately establish Kadtag Bangsamoro. Kadtag Bangsamoro, Mr. Speaker, is a relief assistance project initiated by yours truly, Mr. Speaker. We immediately sent aid to 1,350 affected families in Kidapawan City and Matalam, North Cotabato, the epicenter of the earthquakes. Mr. Speaker, in 2020, COVID-19, another onslaught on a worldwide scale, massively affected the lives of the Bangsamoro people. When lockdowns were implemented, the first thing that came to my mind, Mr. Speaker, was paano na makakain ang mga mahihirap nating kababayan? This question has left this humble representation sleepless and worrisome, not only because of the health risk, but more importantly, the sustenance of our people. Ang kabuhayan at kakainin ng mga kababayan nating nasa pinakalaylayan na ng lipunan. With this, Mr. Speaker, we promptly reactivated the Kadtag Bangsamoro for COVID-19 response. In partnership with our fellow members of the Parliament and the League of Bangsamoro Organization headed by Professor Hashim Mantikayan, the project, Mr. Speaker, raised a total amount of 3,655,808 pesos and provided food and hygiene packs to 15,013 families with vulnerable sectors. Sa mga members ng Parliament at sa mga civil society organizations na sumuporta at tumulong sa Kadtag Bangsamoro, maraming salamat po. G. Next G, Mr. Speaker. G is for grateful and grounded. As majority floor leader, Mr. Speaker, it taught me lessons as my takeaways. Having those experiences, I learned the value of accountability and responsibility. I learned, Mr. Speaker, that the true meaning of professionalism is doing your best, no matter how small or big the work is. Next, Mr. Speaker, as I faced those predicaments of our Bangsamoro people, I learned to be grateful and contented with what I have, work, family, profession, and the passion to serve the Bangsamoro. And lastly, it provided me the avenue to be humble enough to learn, relearn, and unlearn things. As we learn new things, Mr. Speaker, it must teach us to be humble enough to understand, listen, and deal with others. Mr. Speaker, humility is a scarcity nowadays. Let us not be blinded by our positions, authority, wealth, and influence. After all, Allah said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. There is no other reason for creating the jinns and human beings except to worship Allah. This must remind us that we must do things to glorify Allah and not to impress anyone. as I casually bid farewell to my post as Majority Floor Leader, I welcome with profound gratitude to the Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, Chief Minister Ahod Balawag Ibrahim, and the government of the day for the position entrusted to this humble representation as the Deputy Speaker of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, Second Bangsamoro Parliament 2022 to 2025. To end, I would like to reiterate my congratulations to all appointed and reappointed members of Parliament and elected officers of this august body. And I appeal to everyone that we continue extending support and unite with one another to ensure the general welfare of the Bangsamoro people. Mr. Speaker, we did it. We can still do more for the Bangsamoro. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, Mr. Speaker.
Congratulations, Deputy Speaker Lanang Ali. Majority Leader, next to deliver.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, the next to deliver his privileged speech is Member of Parliament, Dr. Kadil Sinulinding Jr. May we recognize him, Mr. Speaker?
Dr. Kadil Sinulinding is hereby recognized. Mukhang masaya yung i-deliver niya kasi nakangiti.
Auzubillahi minasyaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our Chief Minister, our Balawag Ibrahim, Speaker Attorney Pangalian Balindong, Deputy Speaker Nabil Tan, our presiding officer, and Deputy Speakers, Floor Leader, Deputy Floor Leaders, fellow honorable members of the Parliament, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. I wish you all a pleasant afternoon. Mr. Speaker, I take the floor today to bring to the attention of this esteemed body an issue on my awareness, something that we need to focus attention on. This issue has the core of my identity, starting from my paternal roots as native of Midsayap and Alyosan, as I was born in Pikit and raised in Kabakan, all in North Cotabato. After graduating from medical school, I turned down juicy, lucrative offers to practice in big hospitals after garnering 7th place in the 1991 physician licensure examination. Instead, I served without an iota of hesitation as Municipal Health Officer of Pagalungan and Montawal towns for 10 years, and subsequently as Secretary of Health of the now defunct autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao for 9 years with exemplary performance and leadership until 2019. Here I was exposed to the hard life and sacrifices of our fellow Moro people in peace and amidst armed conflicts, which is way too different from my American family and the environment that I left behind. My life was, since 1991, focused on helping the sick, the blind, the helpless, and the needy, impoverished Moro people, including the casualties of conflicts, among them Moro Mujahideen who were wounded in action. These are all remembered, known to so many people that I have served, and to various organizations here and abroad, giving me the opportunity to enjoy the very short list of Bangsamoro awardees of the prestigious 10 Outstanding Young Men TOYM of the Philippines and the only Moro awardee of the 10 Outstanding Young Persons of the World, TOYP. Since the passage of the Republic Act 11054 that established the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, because of eagerness to be united as one Bangsamoro, both in political description and in identity, the people of the 63 barangays under the special geographic areas of BARM in North Cotabato willingly joined such setup, but undeniably were affected by delay and neglect of legislative and political decisions that would bring them good. The 63 barangays got detached from its parent province, the North Cotabato, on November 20, 2019, after having been turned over to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Considered by most residents as an orphan, the so-called Special Geographic Area, or SGA, that groups all the 63 barangays is in a situation that can be likened to a person's without a family, or a family they call their own, like one bereft of a clan identity. The constituents of the 63 barangays are no different from the rest of the communities in BARMM, hoping for a better life with a promise of prosperity under the new Bangsamoro government and its appointed leaders. For 3 years, they patiently waited, and in conversations we can hear questions like, "Andaw dan silan," which means, where were they? Was their decision to join the Bangsamoro region a regretful act or a promise still waiting to be fulfilled? They have nowhere to go but stay and hope for the best. Hope and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are all what they have for now. When I accepted this challenge to be appointed as a neophyte member of this honorable parliament, I did so with a commitment to serve in this area, the SGA and the Bangsamoro in general. I am thankful for this rare opportunity given by the President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. and by Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim as a representative of the people called Tau Nalaya, or one from the upper delta of central Mindanao. This is my sworn duty, to serve them, inform them, represent them, stand with them, fight for them against anyone who would deprive them of their rights as Bangsamoro or as Filipino. I am referring to 215,433 people in the SGA as recorded in the 2020 Census of Population and Housing by the Philippine Statistics Authority. Since the regional government took over these barangays, the barangay leaders and the residents felt a little lost and unsupported. The SGA coordinator, as claimed, was terminated without replacement. The administrator's office remained non-functional despite the presence of volunteers, and the fund intended for them is unspent. Now, with this said, an urgent need to settle these issues of territorial clustering of barangays and possibility of creating new municipalities or even a new province and its associated functional government services is required before passing the electoral code. I pray. They have the right, just like those in other territories, to have a functional government and elected representatives. Without territorial recognition and official identity as SGA residents, the feeling of being neglected may worsen or even aggravate hopelessness in their midst. Let's focus and do something about the apparent lack of capability of our law enforcers to protect people because of flaws in operational setting and territorial regulations. Personnel of the Pikit Municipal Police Station cannot easily get into the scenes of crimes since these are areas already outside of the jurisdiction of the Police Regional Office number 12. Do we have operational arrangements and understanding among units and operatives on the ground to caution the adverse effects of these constraints? Honestly, I still need to be educated on this. Similarly, the same question is raised for teachers, health personnel, and social workers, to name a few. Peace building, Mr. Speaker, is a community concern. It can never be achieved without cross-section cooperation. Yes, it is essentially urgent to pass the priority codes that I also believe in, but we have either those priority codes that are either been introduced to this body or are yet to be filed as espoused by the President, but I shall insist not in haste. Neglecting to address their sentiments at some point may aggravate mistrust and hopelessness, leaving us to ponder what is more important. Is it the timeline or the completed task with satisfied constituency, or both? That may define our noble intention into a winning strategy or a mistake that can only be judged by history. With the inherent feeling of neglect, this perception may worsen with time, and I share the same feeling as one among them. In the midst of uncertainty, there are few things that must remain stable and strong: the hope within us. Mr. Speaker, I reiterate that the need to address this issue is urgent and has to be resolved now during our term. Among the people of SGA, they have waited long enough and they don't intend to wait any longer, nor wait for an uncertain day after today, for tomorrow may not come. This shall be part of our daily prayers for our Chief Minister, our Speaker, our leaders, and our esteemed colleagues in this honorable chamber to deeply consider. Lastly, let me end this privileged speech with a verse from the Holy Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Help one another in acts of piety and righteousness, and do not assist each other in acts of sinfulness and transgression. And be aware of Allah. Verily, Allah is severe in punishment." Quran 5 verse 2. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the next Member of Parliament who will deliver his privileged speech is MP Hamid Malik. May we recognize him, Mr. Speaker.
May we recognize the honorable gentleman from Sulu, Hamid Malik.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues in the Parliament, guests who are present here in this chamber. Alam po natin na napakaraming mga kapatid, kamag-anak sa organisasyon na nagsakripisyo at sinakripisyo ang kanilang mga buhay, nakipaglaban sa pamahalaan. Sila po ay tumayo at nanindigan sa tatlong layunin na tinatawag sa salitang tausug, pagbogbog singhula, bangsa, iban agama. Libo-libo po ang naulila sa digmaan. Naaalala ko pa po nung bata pa kami, naranasan kong matulog sa ilalim ng bakawan. Sa gabi naririnig namin ang napakalakas na tunog ng kanyon. At sa araw naman makikita namin ang eroplanong pangdigma na nagpapahulog ng mga bomba sa iba't ibang kampo ng MNLF. At ito'y naging sanhi na napagkasunog ng maraming kabahayan at kumitil sa buhay ng mga sibilyan. Iyon po ay sa kapanahunan ng aking ama na si Ustad Khabir Malik rahimahullah na lumaban pa sa gobyerno noon upang makamit ang minimithing kapayapaan para sa Bangsamoro. Ngayon po nandito ako bilang membro ng parlamentong ito, humahangad na makatulong papaano natin mabigyan magandang kabuhayan ang sambayan ng Bangsamoro at mapaunlad natin ang lahat ng Bangsamoro society. Inshallah. Minsan po dumating sa aking isipan ang pakikipaglaban ng aming mga ninuno. Ito ang resulta ng kabayaran upang magkaroon ng kapayapaan at ito ang matatawag natin na naging bunga sa pagbuo ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Ang naging puhunan po dito ay dugo, pawis at buhay ng mga revolusyonaryong na mayapang kapatid, mga tunay na Bangsamoro Mujahideen. Hindi po sana natin makalimutan ang mga natitirang kasamang bayani at sila ay naging senior citizen sa Bangsamoro na mabigyan halaga at kung marapatin sana ay sila ay maging pensyonado base sa katandaan ng kanilang edad para nang sa ganon sila ay magkaroon ng pangbiling gamot upang matugunan ang kanilang iniindang sakit. At ang kanilang mga anak o mga apo at lalo na mga naulilang nabigyan ay sana'y mabigyan prioridad ng scholarship ng program ng MBHTE. At base din po sa obserbasyon namin noon, ay parating naiiwan ang island provinces. At sana po ang scholarship na ito ay pantay-pantay na ipamahagi sa mga anak na tunay na Bangsamoro Mujahideen. At sana rin po sa pagdating ng fiscal year 2023 budget ay magkaroon na rin po ng pantay na distribution ng goods and services lalo na rin po sa island provinces. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues in this parliament, bilang isang nurse naramdaman ko po ang ating mga kapatid na veteranong kombatan, maka-MNLF man or MILF member, sila ay tumanda lamang sa kabukiran, walang inaasahang sahod galing sa pamahalaan. At dapat natin mapag-aralan sa paano sila mabigyan ng kabayaran na maipasok ang kanilang mga pangalan sa Bangsamoro government para sila ay mayroong maasahan na matatanggap buwan-buwan sa ikauunlad ng kanilang pamumuhay. Ang Ministry of Health po dapat ay gagawa ng kilos para sa mga matatandang veteranong Bangsamoro kombatan na mabigyan sila ng kaukulang gamot sa mga sakit ng kanilang nararamdaman. Iniisip ko po sana bilang nurse at membro ng parlamentong ito ay may gagawin at mga programa lalo na sa mga matatandang MNLF at MILF kombatan, magkaroon ng karagdagang pondo sa mga matatandang MNLF at sa mga karagdagang pondo ang mga iba't ibang provincial hospital at kasali na ang rural health center sa munisipyo para ang mga kapatid nating membro ng MNLF at MILF kung magkakasakit man sila ay magiging libre ang kanilang bayarin sa iba't ibang sakop ng BARM Hospital. Mr. Speaker, isa po sa naramdaman at naranasan ko, napakasakit maulila, walang masandalan at maaasahan sa pang-araw-araw na gastusin. Ganon din po sa mga kapatid nating mga MNLF at MILF ay hanggang ngayon nasa kabukiran pa sila at umaasa sa kanilang hanap buhay. Mr. Speaker, nais kong banggitin dito, 7 kaming magkakapatid. Pangatlo po ako anak sa pamilya. Nagsakripisyo ang aming ina upang magtrabaho sa ibang bansa para matustusan ang aming pangangailangan at pag-aaral. Sa katunayan po ang aking mahal na ina hanggang ngayon nasa Middle East pa. At alhamdulillah, dahil sa sakripisyo ng aming ina, unting-unti po kaming 7 nakapagtapos sa kolehiyo. Sa tulong din po ng aming tiyo, pinapunta po niya kami magkakapatid sa lungsod ng Davao at doon po kami nakapagtapos at naging pangalawang permanenteng tirahan na namin ang Davao City. Mr. Speaker, sana po ang sakop ng BARM at ang mga taong nakatira dito ay tuloy-tuloy ang pagkakaroon ng katahimikan, mabigyan ang Bangsamoro people na magandang pamumuhay. Ako po ay isang ordinaryong tao lamang. At siguro po ako ang pinakabatang kasapi ninyo. Sa totoo lang sa panaginip man o isipan, hindi ko inaasahan na makasama ninyo dito ngayon. Sa katunayan, ako po ay nagtatrabaho sa Maynila bilang isang nurse at sa panahong iyon, kinausap din po ako ng mahal nating ustad na si Tuan Abdul Karim bilang isang Vice Chairman ng MNLF Central Committee kung ano ang aking opinyon sa kung sakali mabibigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na lumahok o tumulong sa BARM. At ang aking sagot, kung ito ang isang daan para matulungan natin ang ating kapatid, magulang sa Parliament at sambayanang Bangsamoro, bismillah, atin silang samahan. Naniniwala po ako na wala tayong kakayanan na gawin ang gusto natin kung hindi man sa kagustuhan ng Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At siya lamang ang nakapagbibigay taufik at hidayah. Alhamdulillah, sa ating pagkakaisa bilang Bangsamoro entity, ay matatawag natin ito na isang napakalaking kasaysayan dahil sa wakas, ang sinunod natin ay batas mula sa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala nabanggit sa Holy Quran sa Suratul Al-Imran, wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wala tafarraqu. Hold firmly to the rope of Allah all together and do not be divided. Inshallah, simbolo po ito na sinunod natin ng utos ng Allah, magkapatiran, magmahalan, upang sa ganon ay uunlad ng ating kababayan. Lalo na magkaroon na po tayo ng tapat at malinis ng pagpapatakbo ng BARM. Mr. Speaker, ang lahat ng iniisip at sa isipan ng mga kapatid nating Bangsamoro, lalo na ang mga naiwan sa kabukiran, sila ay naghahantay sa namumuno ng BARM at ang kanilang katanungan ay ano ba ang development program o panukalang batas gagawin sa parlamento at umaasa na sila ay mabigyan ng magandang kapamumuhay sa kanilang lugar. Mr. Speaker, my humble request to all my colleagues in this parliament, gagawa tayo ng masusing pag-aaral kung papaano natin maipakita sa kanila ang tunay na kapayapaan, maihatid at maibigay sa kanila ang magandang pamumuhay ng mga kapatid nating Bangsamoro. Wala na tawfiq wal hidayah. Jazakumullahu khairan. Uhibbukum fillahi jami'an. Wa assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker,
Mr. Speaker,
which
In
is
view of
very-
the lar-
Omar, the Deputy Speaker Omar Sema is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, in view of the large extent of remembrance and memorial stated in the speech of our brother Hamid Malik, I move that his speech be recorded in toto in the journals of this Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to record the entire speech, the speech in toto, in our journal. Is there any second? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next item would be
There's no more item.
other matters as we amended,
Other
Mr.
matters.
Speaker. Okay, so Mr. Speaker, I am going to read the expanded membership of two committees today, the Committee on Rules and the Committee on Finance and Budget and Management.
I see MP Rasmit Mug raising his hands.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, just clarificatory questions.
On
The matter of extending the committee membership, because it's already in the rules. So is this an amendment on the rules?
Mr. Speaker, if I may,
yes,
respond,
the Majority Leader.
during the amendment period on the rules that we have adopted last week, there was already a motion to state there that the membership, the committees can be expanded. The membership of committees can be expanded depending on representation and
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for that explanation. We would like again to request for the printed rules so that we will be guided.
You would like to request what?
The printed rules.
Printed
the final
rules.
principles. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
We already have our soft copy.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I don't know if you, but my office printed our own rules. Nonetheless, duly noted. Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may proceed.
Yes, please
The
continue.
members of the Committee on Rules are as follows. Majority Leader Dumama Alba, Deputy Floor as Chairperson, Deputy Floor Leader Attorney Raisa Jajuri as Vice Chairperson, members, Member of Parliament Iqbal, Member of Parliament Sinulinding, Member of Parliament MP Eddie Ali, MP Ana Basman, MP Edward Guerra, MP Soharto Ismael, MP Aida Silongan, MP Matarul Estino, MP Bong Parcasio, MP Makatanong, MP Mantawil, MP Lorena, MP Pacasem, MP Arnado, MP Hashim, MP Makasalong, MP Mitmug, MP Anayatin, MP Romeo Sema, MP Makakua, MP Sheikh, MP Tawakal Midtimbang, MP Ramon Piang Sr., MP Liza Deputy Speaker Liza Alamia, MP Jet Lim, MP Adsfar Usman, MP Randy Caron, MP Basir Uto, and additional members, MP Bayintan Ampatuan, and MP Mosber Alaudin. I move that we approve the expanded membership, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve the expanded membership of the Committee on Rules, duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Any more, Majority Leader?
For the Committee on Finance and Budget and Management, Chairperson, MP Edward Guerra, Vice Chairpersons, MP Bayintan Ampatuan, MP Ubayda Pacasem, MP Jose Lorena, members, MP Hussein Munoz, MP Bong Parcasio, MP Paisalintago, MP Matarul Estino, MP Mike Midtimbang, MP Ishak Mastura, MP Makasalong, MP Yacob, MP Makatanong, MP Kahalan, MP Caron, MP Arnado, MP Iqbal, MP Matalam, MP Basman, MP Anayatin, MP Jikiri, MP Loong, MP Silongan, MP Eddie Ali, MP Sinolinding, MP Usman, MP Moalil, MP Soharto Esmael, MP Sheikh, MP Dilangalen, MP Babaw, and additional members MP Jajuri, MP Ramos, MP Asnawi, and MP Hashim. I move for the approval of the expanded membership, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to approve the expanded membership of the Committee on Finance ba? Finance, Budget and Management. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
There being no other item in
May I just say something? The expanded membership will now require a change in the minimum number to constitute a quorum. So that will be the implication. So any more? Majority Leader?
There being no other items for today in today's agenda, I move for the adjournment of today's session, Mr. Speaker, until October 17, 1 o'clock p.m. Thank you.
There's a motion to adjourn until October 17, 1 p.m. Same is hereby approved.